Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Nous venons d'assister à un discours, je cite, « comédie hypocrite » de la part de... I'm just quoting the previous orator. And this reminds me of a famous song of Madonna. I don't know if... I'm sure the members know about it. Like a virgin, you know? Like you're clean, you've never done anything, and you've never criticized anyone. Let me remind this member that she was named on Tuesday because she lacked respect towards you, the chair. This is the temple of democracy. Now moving on to the next one, let me tell you. Who was the one who said, "To figure comme un putu rassi" to the Honorable Bapu in this temple of democracy? Who said so? Who said Roden Marie Pousadou? And now talking about that special member who just spoke right before me, she said it to my colistier, Honorable Jolie Jonga. De trop mari, toi? Even to the DPM, to the Deputy Prime Minister. Côte de Valais MMM. This is how you respect, member? This is the songs Like a Virgin. Mr. Speaker, sir.
You have to let the orator speak. This is debate. You say something, she says something. Yes, this is debate. Yeah, and so I rely on your cooperation. Honorable Béranger, I rely on your cooperation. Everybody kept quiet. I made sure that you have a free way to speak. So let her have a free way to express herself.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Let me continue because I think it is very important. Because we come here in this temple of democracy, and I've been listening to the members on the other side who were named, saying that we are female, we are feminist, we are this and that, but then they come here and give lessons. How about for the men? You come here and you start your debate by saying, like, the slip of Honorable Toussaint, is this the level of speech that we are expecting in this? And we go for the les internautes. We are here debating about a budget. And then, supporting this argument, we have in l'Express le 12 février 2022, the article of Jenny Adebiro, who left. And she says, it's not me, she says, nous camarades Johanna li vraiment la défensive tout le temps, l'eau ban a fait droit. Mais moi pas fin même trouve ban poste ni par rapport à Zizman Lacour, ni pour recount. So she's selective about what she's defending. You defend what is feminine, what is good, what is right, but then you omit to say what you have been doing wrong. And there is a famous quote which goes that until the lion learns how to write, every story will glorify the hunter. So I think this is very important to quote here. Talking about her speech, Mr. Speaker, sir, moi, as l'enfant que je suis, moi aussi, j'ai été choquée. And I will take you back to 1982 or 83. I was not even born. Pareil que moi, les enfants, ils ne choquaient pas du discours de the Honorable Modou. Moi aussi, je ne choquais pas what happened those years. And then, I was not even born, but history is very important, Honorable Juman, trust me. The next one, what is very important, she comes here, I said it in a previous speech, I am not Greta Thunberg, I'm not here to defend the environment, I'm not here to defend a cause which I might not master it. Why? Because I don't have a panel. I don't have l'équipe qui a écrit nos discours. We, as the Honorable David said it, the shouting brigade, or the backbenchers as we are, we do the top benchers, please. We write our speech and we do it. And we are not protected by anyone. Article Le Mauricien le 3 août 2021, there was even a confidentiel, that was a commission which was set up by party MMM. Why? Parce que la fille needs support, needs to work on the dossier de l'environnement. Why was this dossier not given to Jenny Adebiro or someone else? Why only the same person? We have to question ourselves. Moving on to the next thing. This is democracy, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Not interested.
We are allowed to rebut what has been said initially. Let me move on to the previous orator, Honorable David. Honorable David started his speech by saying, aussi j'aimerais en tant que jeune parlementaire au sein de notre Parlement exprimer ma désapprobation la plus totale face aux commentaires gratuits et infondés proférés avant-hier par le ministre de la Santé à l'encontre d'un confrère. I'm sure you have the documents now en possession. Maybe your confrère should have told you that he resigned and he backdated his resignation letter. So this is very important. Honorable David is someone whom I respect a lot. He's a gentleman. The shadow minister of fisheries, as we call him. But seems like your obsession for makeup has blurred your vision. And just like your colleagues, you can see the glass half full or half empty. So I think maybe we can just put a PQ or a question about that honorable member and see. Anyways, I have a few questions for the honorable member. You came forward and said, no, besides, okay, let me just put that on record. Besides being the shadow minister of fisheries, you're also the shadow minister of arts and culture. So I have a few questions for you. This is called selective memory, and this is what's called politique. Next,
What is happening here?
you have been talking about the artists who have been neglected by the Honorable Minister of Arts and Culture. Maybe, I say it maybe, the COVID-19 Action Plan for the Artist 2020, the Artist Support Plan in 2021, the 49 million rupees self-employed assistance to the artist, the 4 million one-off grant paid to the artist was paid from the coffre of the boss then, not the government. It's not the Honorable Minister Avinash Tilak who did that. It was the money of what was found in the coffre, right? Seems so. Anyways. Coming up to the year 1982, as I mentioned, the Honorable Ishan Juman told me that I was not even born. Yes, I was not even born. I was a young member. I am a young member. Yes, I was not even born. But history is gold. And it's very important for us to go to history. And this is what I do myself as a devoir, as we say, to go back to history and to know exactly what happened. The Honorable previous member mentioned about few things and said, like, you want us to trust this government who couldn't do that? But my question is, do you want us to trust this opposition who in 1982 came forward with the state of the Mauritius economy, a report, a document, which was shared with everyone, whereby there were so many things which happened and where the then minister, let me just set the context, Mr. Speaker, sir. The budgetary exercise is very important for any government. This is what decides what will happen during the year, the priorities of the government. And one of the priority of this government, one of the priority of this Prime Minister has been the welfare state, to maintain the welfare state, maintain the well-being of our citizens. This is why I must salute the hard work of Honorable Fazila Jiwado for the ministry that she's got, for the budget that she's got. I went through the book de Jean-Claude Delestrac, who is not, let me quote, a Chatois. No. There is a book where Les Ennemis Intimes, 1980 to 1995. And in the chapter, Un héritage pourri, he mentions, I quote, les représentants du FMI brossent un tableau sombre de l'économie devant les partenaires. Further down, same page, page 26, le pays prend la mesure de la situation quand le ministre des Finances présente à l'Assemblée nationale un rapport intitulé The State of the Mauritius Economy. Il est démontré que le pays fait face à une crise économique de très grande proportion. Crise économique de très grande proportion. There was no COVID. There was no war in Ukraine and Russia. But then there were some measures which were announced. Going to the report itself, the then finance minister, who was the Honorable Paul Raymond Béranger, page 36, 6.2 says, What the above figures confirms is that Mauritius is confronted with an economic crisis of momentous proportions as a result of what has taken place since 1976. 6.6, he mentions the bilan économique for the years 1976-81 is a burden which handicaps severely the present government's effort to rebuild the economy. So at that point of time, at that material time, we had to understand that he wanted to remove pension, he wanted to remove subsidies, he wanted to remove all these things. Now, going back to the book, ça fait mal, it hurts, I know. And going back to the book, page 30, de l'Estrac, what is cheap? This is facts. You can read the book, I can table it, you can have it. It's okay. The document also, I'm sure you have a copy of it.
Order! Order both sides. Order both sides. Order. Continue.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Page 30 in the same book, I quote, pour sortir de ce bas-fond, il faut un effort total et soutenu de tout un chacun. Chacun doit participer dans la relance de notre patrie. L'île Maurice le peut, l'île Maurice doit le faire, parce qu'il n'y a pas d'alternative, plaide Béranger, unquote. And during that same period, it mentions in the book, les débats parlementaires durent plusieurs jours, mais Jack Nott ne participe pas aux discussions. Il est mal à l'aise. Il continue à penser que des alternatives existent aux prescriptions du FMI. This is les valeurs MSM. We take people with us. We work together with the people. And, cerise sur le gâteau, page 35, he mentions, même entre les dirigeants du MMM éclate au grand jour quand la presse révèle que les prix du riz et de la farine seront augmentés par 10 sous et 15 sous respectivement au lieu de 25 sous, réclamés par le ministre des Finances Béranger. So, and now you come here in this assembly and you say, the Honorable Minister Kalichan should do more. So this is called selective. I think this is very, very unfair. So, and you want us to trust that? And l'enfant que je suis, moi aussi pareil, je suis choquée d'entendre l'opposition venir nous donner des leçons, Honorable Luchmun. Voilà. Coming up to my speech now, I know time is of essence. It hurts, I know, Honorable, I know. Mr. Speaker, sir, it is indeed a privilege for me to participate in this budget, in the debate, and I should definitely congratulate my honorable doctor, the Honorable Dr. Padeachi, who had the choice like in 1983 to sacrifice our welfare state. But what he did, he maintained it. He's still maintaining it. And he is making sure that everyone finds himself. This is an inclusive budget. This is an inclusive party. This is what we have been doing. The budget is leaving no one behind. We are helping. It cuts across all spheres of Mauritius. I would congratulate the Honorable Finance Minister, and I would also congratulate the Honorable Prime Minister, for whom, under his guidance, we have presented such a bold budget. And as I mentioned it previously, the presentation of a well-planned budget is of utmost importance for any government to ensure economic stability. Mr. Speaker, sir, we have all been talking about what COVID has done, what the fight between Russia and Ukraine is going on. But I would like to attirer l'attention, as we say, about, there is a quote which has been used by the Honorable Minister Padeachi on the cover itself of the budget presentation, where it mentions the only true and sustainable prosperity is shared prosperity. So this is very important. This is the essence, this is the value of MSM, and this is the value of the government. It is in line with what the government wants to do, the inclusive society, as we say. And to quote few people that I've met, Mr. Rajiv Lakshmiya, who says, this is a budget for the Mauritian of today, of tomorrow, the youth, the employees, and the entrepreneurs, the mothers, the fathers, each and everyone across all four corners of the island finds themselves in this budget. To quote the favorite book of our honorable leader of the opposition, Why Nation Fails, he's selective about the reading as well, so he loves to quote this book, Why Nation Fails. Well, in that book it mentions, sustained economic growth requires innovation, and innovation cannot be decoupled from creative destruction, which replaces the old with the new in economic realm. And also, there is a word which has often been used by the Honorable Buddha, the paradigm shift. This budget is what it paves the way for that paradigm shift. And the paradigm shift has already started. We didn't wait for him. The paradigm shift has started and is going on very well. To prove that, the Minister of Agro-Industry mentioned about the crop replantation fund, which will be part of this budget, and the statistics proves it, that sector de l'agro has taken son envol, as we say, and the agricultural sector grew by 9.5% in 2021. And the food crop production that would be open field only increased by 6.8% from 2020 to 2021. Mr. Speaker, sir, there is no democracy without an inclusive society. There is no democracy without an inclusive society, and Mr. Speaker, sir, with this pandemic and a war, definitely the Minister of Finance had to present a budget présenté sur un fil de rasoir, as we say it. But the sole focus of this budget has been to keep this resilience of our population, leaving no one behind. Talking about the women, let me come to the gender country profile, which has been shared among members and the public as well. I quote, in the executive summary, it mentions women are also overrepresented among the unemployed, whereas unemployed women tend to be more qualified than unemployed men. Furthermore, women with disabilities are more disadvantaged than men. And Mr. Speaker, sir, this budget comes to correct a long overdue anomaly. That is, women facing the glass ceiling and they'd have nowhere to go. Under item 374, this is a unique opportunity given to young Mauritians and women into the labor force. Item 375, the government will therefore provide a monthly prime à l'emploi de 15,000 rupees for the first year of employment for 10,000 youths between 18 and 35 years and women up to 50 years. Under item 384, maintaining the home ownership and home loan schemes with a 5% refund up to 500,000 rupees for another year. Enabling each spouse married under a regime corps et bien to benefit from the exemption of registration duty for the first-time buyers. And here I would like to quote a friend, Belinda of Crèvecoeur, Belinda Vacher from Crèvecoeur, who, during the Woman in Finance, mentioned that many women own a house, a plot of land, or an insurance. I'm sure you will have the answer. How many women own a house? How many women have a document certifying that they have a home loan, they have an insurance? Most of the time, if you're married, it's always on the husband's name. So I think this comes to rectify this error because we are talking about equality. In the same vein, Mr. Speaker, sir, under item 420 for a single mother, the government is increasing the monthly allowance for herself from 1,597 to 1,916. Mr. Speaker, sir, being a young member of the National Assembly, I'm blessed by some lovely people in my constituency, and here I would like to mention a little brother of mine, a little friend of mine in my constituency, Yassine Edou, for whom I'd like to be the voice in this parliament, a young boy who is on a wheelchair, but who inspires others in the same situation like him. And he heartily welcomes the item 439, facilitating access to the disabled to the beach. 40 floating beach wheelchairs and beach access mats will be acquired. In the same vein, under item 435, bedridden and severely disabled inmates of charitable institutes will also benefit from the monthly incontinence allowance. To facilitate the lives of persons with hearing impairments, the frequency of the news bulletins in the Mauritian Sign Language will be increased to twice weekly. Mr. Speaker, sir, much has been stated about the increase of the pensions for our elderly, orphans, and so on. And before moving to my constituency, let me salute the effort of the government in democratizing the education sector, from free universities to now making the MITD free for children who opt for a métier rather than a conventional academic field. And right now, I would like to pay a tribute on behalf of my name and my colleagues as well to someone who has contributed enormously in the education sector, Mr. Praveen Manrako of Long Mountain. He left us on Monday, but let me set on record that he has provided education to numerous children of my constituency, and we even had some MPs who were from that college. So he has contributed enormously for the people, for the families of that region. But I'm sure that his daughters would keep the legacy. Now to move on to my constituency number 4, Port Louis North, Long Mountain, a constituency which is particular in itself and which is very, very special. Let me tell you that the inhabitants of Poltoro, Carolalu, Caroline, Valmiki, Chitrakout, Vallée des Prêtres, Sainte-Croix, Lac-Lieu, Batricassé, Briqueterie are rejoicing over the removal of the municipal tax. And I shall thank the Honourable Minister of Finance for the 66 million for Canal-Anglais, Rochebois, Route Nicolet and Camp-Yeulef. 157 million at Sainte-Croix, Vallée des Prêtres, La Rivière-Latanier in Terre Rouge and Cité Roma. And here I would like to thank the Honourable Prime Minister for his special attention for the people of Mont-Selman, Goulamali. He visited those families, and now we can see that the work has started. We have some multi-purpose complex coming in my constituency, Crèvecoeur in Le Hocher. Among the 18 football grounds, we have one in Résidence La Cure, and we have the construction of a market in Terre Rouge. Mr. Speaker, sir, we welcome also the purchase of 200 electric buses by the NTC, and also from the July 2022, all hybrid and electric vehicles will be duty-free and are going extra mile to introduce a negative excise scheme. These measures have been I would say criticized, but mentioned by members on the other side, saying that it has been in this budget last year as well. I was just asking myself, and I had people asking myself, say, défendeurs, as we say, those who fight about the environment protection, do they drive car with l'essence, diesel or hybrid? I don't know. If you are talking about protection of the environment, please tell me you come to the parliament in bicycle. I'm just asking, Mr. Speaker, sir. Food wastage isn't just a social or a humanitarian concern. It is an environmental one. When we waste food, we also waste all the energy and water that it takes to grow, harvest, transport, and packaging it. So if the food goes to the landfill and rots, it produces methane, a greenhouse gas even more potent than carbon dioxide. About 6 to 8% of all human-caused greenhouse gas emission could be reduced if we stopped wasting food. So I welcome the measure Food Security, page 35, the best before and use date, where the Food Regulations 1999 and the first schedule of the Consumer Protection Price and Supplies Act will be amended to provide for a sale of an eligible food product to 7 days in best before. And this measure has been welcomed by the NGO Foodwise. The Honourable Member of the Opposition, during his speech, mentioned, too late, too little. But to conclude, Mr. Speaker, sir, I would say now is the time. Now is a time as one nation, one people, to stand together to fight COVID, to fight the war, and to bring back Mauritius to where it was. Now is the time to trust our people. These budgetary measures show the trust that we as government have in the people. This shows that hand in hand, we can succeed to make Mauritius shine back again. And I would like to congratulate once again the Honourable Minister Padayachi and of course the Prime Minister. And also about this, I don't know, we have always been criticized about, we keep saying the Prime Minister. I don't know whether we should mention the Honourable Leader of the Opposition. It's quite obvious and it's legitimate that we are here under the aegis of the Prime Minister. We need to congratulate him because he has been the one who selected the Minister of Finance, who selected and approves the budget, and who selected the Minister of Health as well. So I think it's quite right for us to be grateful towards that. So I thank each and everyone who have been working very hard in this presentation of this budget, from the staffs of the Ministry of Finance, to all the staffs here in the Parliament who stay till late with us MPs, while some are not even present at times, to all the staffs who are there catering for us for the tea breaks and so on. So I would like to express my gratitude, because it's a very important moment in the life of any MP to be present here during a budgetary debate going on. So I think I would like to thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, and thank all my colleagues and members on the other side as well. En toute égalité, s'il vous plaît, whether it's a man, whether it's a female, thank you.
Thank you.